Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of epicconversions.com. You're listening to Thoughts on a Walk, and today I want to talk about newbies. I got 2 points to make about newbies today. The first point has to do with myself, really. And let me tell you a story for some context. So, yesterday, I decided I was gonna, bang out an article for Medium. I hadn't really put anything out over there for a while. I like Medium for a source of lead generation because it's a gated community. People have to pay $5 a month to be able to read more than 3 articles. So that means you got a good percentage of readers over there who are, legitimate buyers. You just have to, warm them up to your brand of, whatever you're doing. The problem I don't like about Medium, and what kind of keeps me away from there a lot of times, is it's like hard left leaning. It's very, very, I don't know. And it used to be, liberal meant something different. I used to consider myself a liberal. I have a very live and let live mentality. I believe a certain set of things, and if you don't believe that way, that's cool. We can still talk and stuff. It's just, we believe differently. No big deal, not the end of the world. A lot of these supposed liberals these days, they're not liberals at all. They're almost like, I don't know what you want to call it. Nazis, fascists, whatever, who knows. They're very much like, if you don't believe the way we believe, you're getting canceled, or you're getting blocked, or whatever. They try to gang up on you, talk their smack, whatever, try to villainize you, whatever, just because you don't believe the same way they believe. It's crazy, man. Anyways, I digress. So I wrote an article on Medium yesterday, and I have wrote a couple articles over there this past couple months, but they were usually just like, like a couple emails that I had written, and I just kind of like repurposed them for Medium. But I know that's not what the people on Medium like. The people on Medium, what they like is they like just straight like how to, here's how to make $1 million in like 5 days. Here's how I did it, stuff like that. That's what they like. So I decided, let me write something for them. So I wrote an article like that for them yesterday, and I got a guy who, this article is about how to make a good amount of money in a short period of time, and part of that step by step had to do with having a good USP for whatever you're selling. And the guy in my comment section, he writes, "What's USP?" What's USP? So that brings me to my first point that I wanted to make today. And this guy wasn't being sarcastic. He was being real. He didn't know what I was talking about when I said USP, because I didn't take the time to put in parentheses what USP stood for. I just put, make sure you have a USP. Now, the reason I didn't do that will have to do with my second point, so I'll come back to that. But the first point is very simple. Like, the further you get away from being brand new at what you do, there starts to be kind of a disconnect between you and the true newbies. You kind of relate to them less and less. So really, sometimes, you really got to constantly be reminding yourself of who your market is, because the more experience you get, the less you are your market. A lot of people, when they first start out, they are their market. They are the people they're trying to help. Now, of course, this isn't true if you move outside of, what you're actually doing, like internet marketing or whatever. But even if you move into something else, you were at one point generally your target market. The guy who was once really, really big, but then lost a bunch of weight, and now he's teaching weight loss to other people. He was his target market at one point. But the further that guy gets away from being big, the further that guy gets away from actually having that problem, like the less that he's going to identify with his target market. So that's why it's really, really important to continuously try to have a good understanding of what it's like to be your target market today. Because, like, for me personally, I haven't been a newbie since, I started selling physical books on Amazon in 2011. In 2013, I started my first membership site. We can say that's a decade now. It's been 10 years since I was a newbie. A lot's changed in the last 10 years. I don't know if you guys noticed, but lots changed in the last 10 years. So, for me to continue to kind of resonate with those newbies that I want to help, I gotta make sure I understand where they're coming from. Because I'll be honest, that question took me by surprise a little bit. I was like, how do people not know what a USP is in 2024? I don't get it. That's just my own personal perspective, It's not real. That's my frame of mind. That's my world. Like, in my world, it seems obvious, but it's not obvious. There's people out there who don't have any clue. They're just getting started. They don't know what a USP is. Now, so that's on me. I gotta work better. If I'm making articles and stuff for newbies, then I gotta speak like I'm speaking to newbies. But that brings me to my second point. My belief is, and this is, when I have time, I'm gonna write back to that guy. But my belief is, and this is why I didn't put an abbreviation for USP. I believe the person who wants to succeed is not going to take the time to write me a comment, what's a USP? That's like a fish being asked to be fed. That's like, a person sitting on the corner with their hand out, begging for some change, right? I don't believe the people who succeed online do that. Because think about this, right? You have the world's collective of knowledge at your fingertips with the internet. Now, we could argue that it's kind of a Tower of Babel, and for every true thing that you find, there's a fake thing out there. But look, for simple things that are not politically charged, like, what does USP mean? Like, that's an easy Google search. What is that, like 10 seconds to look that up? So this cat would rather ask me a question and hit send than just pull open a new tab, run over to Google, ask a simple question, what's USP mean? It would be like 10 seconds. But this person would rather spend his 10 seconds writing out a question to me, right? So that's a mentality. Like, and right off the bat, I will tell you, without even answering this guy's question, without trying to help him at all, like, I can tell you this guy's probably not going to succeed in his current mindset. Like, he's going to have to change the way he thinks, because that is a stupid question. All right, I'm just being honest. It's a stupid question, in my opinion. Now, maybe that's my disconnect with newbies. I don't know. I hope not. I hope I still understand newbies a little bit. But in my opinion, that's a very stupid question. And I think that part of being a newbie and advancing past being a newbie is asking good questions, not stupid questions. Don't ask questions where you can easily like figure out what that is by doing a Google search. You know, if you don't know what a USP is, then you know you need to get your reading up. You need to do some more reading. You need to do some more educating, right? And there's nothing wrong with not knowing what a USP is. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with not understanding terminology. It's totally fine. I run into things every day. I got two teenagers. I run into terminology I don't understand every single day. Every single day. I got to run over to like, whatever, Urban Dictionary or whatever, trying to understand what Gen Z is talking about with their slang sometimes. Um, you know, like literally, I think the first time I was ever introduced to the word cis male was like in the last 12 months. I never heard that term before. What the hell's a cis male? I don't know what you're talking about. you know, but I looked it up. I'm looking things up. I'm not like just running around asking everybody what's this mean, what's that mean. And it's fine in casual conversation. It's fine in casual conversation, but like it's not fine when you're like looking up ways to make money online and you're being serious. You really want to succeed and do something. Well, people who really want to succeed and do something, they go out and find the answers. They don't just ask questions when they don't know what something means on something simple like that. So, I don't know, that's my opinion on it. Maybe that seems kind of, harsh or whatever. I don't really know. But that's kind of how I feel about it. I think like with simple things like definitions and stuff like that, I mean, don't bother me with a dumb question like what's a USP? Go out and look it up. I didn't put the definition of USP in parentheses right there on purpose, right? I did that on purpose because I knew the true people who really could make something happen would go look that up, and the fools would like ask me what a USP is. Like I knew that was gonna happen. I could have predicted it, and still it surprised me when it happened. It still surprised me because I didn't think anyone would ask me that. Even though I put it in place for people like that, I didn't think anyone would ask me that. So, anyways, I don't know. It's a weird thing, but yeah, newbies, right? And I like newbies. I think mostly newbies and mid-level marketers who buy my stuff. But I sell a lot of PLR these days, so there's plenty of people who aren't newbies who are buying my stuff, I guess. But I still get a lot of newbies coming through my door buying my stuff. So I don't hate newbies at all. I just think there's like a mindset issue going on. Like you got to have a little bit of a paradigm shift there. You know, you got to work on the questions you ask. I should do another podcast episode on the questions you ask, and the kinds of questions you should be asking, not idiotic questions like, hey, what's a USP? You can easily look that up. The kind of questions you want to ask to advance your business is something else. And we'll save that for another episode. I don't want this to get too long. Hope you guys are doing awesome out there. If anything I say resonated with you today, be sure to get over to epicconversions.com. Check out my free newsletter. I'd like to think I put my best free content out in my newsletter. So yeah, there it is. If you don't like being emailed 3 to 6 times a week, then don't sign up for my newsletter because that's about how often I email my list. So that's all I got. Hope you guys are doing amazing out there, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. Peace.